they would ask me to talk to other people. I would sometimes not be willing because either I'm shy, so it could lead to unnecessary arguments or misunderstandings.
Since young, he was a jovial kid. He's always clinging on to us, but now
he's always
with his friends.
While raising teens may be a rocky time for parents, it is an important crossroad as your child transitions to adulthood. Your support through their growing pains helps to drive home valuable life lessons they can carry through for the rest of their lives.
Parenting teens is often seen as a challenging period of time because there are a lot of changes. Teenagers, they are developing cognitively and emotionally at the same rate as teenagers did a few years back. However, teenagers today, they have a lot of access to international content, they have social media, so they are exposed to so much more. It's important for the parents to adapt according to how these teenagers grow. And different teenagers may grow at different stages.
I definitely still think my parents do treat me like a child. She would sometimes I would take picture of my food and send it to her, and she'll still call me and go, have you eaten enough?
For me, I think my parents are treating me more like a grown-up because they don't restrict me as much as last time, and they allow me, as what she said, to go out more often, more late. And yeah, I think this is because they think that we've grown older and more matured.
These parents discovered that they had to adapt their parenting approaches in order to better communicate with their children, who seemed to drastically change when they became teens. With this came a better understanding of where their adolescent children were coming from.
Since young, he was a jovial kid. He's always clinging on to us, but now
he's
always with his friends.
We kind of expected the changes in their behavior. And we've been very open to that. I guess with our age and our experiences in our jobs, we kind of thought that it would be normal for our children to be facing various, teenage angst and growing up issues.
We do make it an effort, to sit down when everybody has cooled down, to have a talk and say, this happened, that happened. We do apologize if we find that we are wrong. That is very important because I think they want that closure.
When you're in your childhood, there's a lot of things where you get help with, but when you're in your teen, a lot of things you need to do independently.
Raising a teenager can be a confusing experience. Your teen may appear reluctant to spend time with you, or may even seem hostile or rebellious at times. However, providing support to teenagers as they navigate through these tricky grown-up years has never been more important.
For the eldest one, so far, he's not very expressive. He's more of a reserved kind of boy. So you actually have to sit him down and dig information out of him.
They're growing up, they're curious. We had conversations about vapes. We had conversations about alcohol. I always explain to them in a way that, what we should do in a rightly manner and what we should avoid.
Social media allows teens to connect with others and build social networks. It's also great for entertainment and self-expression while building up their awareness of the world around them. And yet, being active on online platforms can lead to reckless behaviors, such as oversharing and unhealthy comparisons. How can parents guide their teens to be more discerning about their interactions on social media?
Social media allows me to network with other people. Entertainment is another reason why I use social media a lot, because usually as teenagers we usually feel very down. Social media is usually our go-to response to find happiness. Instagram, they like sharing stories about what we do in school or what we do at home or wherever we're at, what we eat, all those kind of things.
My parents tell me not to use social media so much.
Social media has a very big impact on teenagers nowadays, and I don't think parents understand that.
Usually we'll just advise them to be more responsible when they're using Facebook or Instagram or any social media platform. So if they find anything which is not right, then they should come to us and then we will advise them properly.
I share about food, I share about the places I travel, and I share about how I feel about them. So, people can learn from my own experience. So I feel that's how the children should also use social media. Not to post things that degrade others.
Social media is a bit of a double-edged sword. Like, for example, if we talk about information. Now with social media, I have teens who will tell me that, I found this grounding exercise on TikTok and it really helped me. And that's good because they are finding this sort of information and it's helpful for them. However, on the other hand, I have teenagers who come in and they think that, I think I have obsessive compulsive disorder, I have borderline personality disorder, I have dissociative identity disorder. And there's a lot of all this misinformation going on, which they don't know how to differentiate, what is true and what is not true. So it's something that has to begin at a young age, whereby children are educated about the importance of staying safe online, the importance of having a balanced life, whereby not all their enjoyment comes from using their phone, using their computers.
I was browsing through my son's Instagram, and there were like 6 Chinese girls texting him, asking him out. I told him, I said, you are still young, education is very important.
So far, he has not come to me yet lah. So most probably because he hasn't have a girlfriend yet. So I think that we will keep to the next stage when he already have one. So most probably he will have a lot of questions for me.
The girl will be in trouble.
Sex ed is very important. Sometimes the sex ed that students receive in school may not be sufficient, or they don't have that opportunity to ask questions. They might be afraid to ask a stranger the question, or they might be afraid to ask a question in front of their peers. So I think sex ed is very important. And it's not just talking about, physical, the act of sex, but talking about sexuality as well.
As your teen navigates a world that can sometimes be hostile and uncertain, it's crucial that parents proactively try to keep the communication channels open so as to provide the support and love needed to help your child overcome the challenges ahead.
Doing things together builds the bond stronger. And in doing this, we always have small little conversations to lure information out of them if they are facing any difficulties.
Then we do some activities like maybe East Coast Park, go cycling.
One thing is a must, right? Dinner at home. Everybody has to sit at the table, and if they're not eating, join in the conversation, share the day, argue about issues, like which is a better team.
A couple of times a year, we go for holidays together. It doesn't have to be so far, just within the region is fine too.
There are studies that have shown that families who have more meals together tend to have children who are more able to regulate their own emotions, able to connect with their family, with their peers. This sort of family time gives these children a chance to talk to their parents, share about what's going on in their life. It might even be a platform for these teens to discuss with their parents certain things about the parenting style that the teens may like or dislike. And the parents can have this open communication.